Why did you keep doing something that made you want to die? Every month since I turned 12, my family has forced me to spread my legs for a doctor who checks if I'm still a virgin and then announces the results at Sunday dinner in front of 40 relatives. I'm 28 now, and until last week I thought this was just how families protected their daughters from making mistakes. The tradition started after my great-great-grandmother found out her teenage daughter was pregnant before marriage. The whole church turned on them and they lost everything. Now every unmarried woman in my family gets examined on the first Sunday of each month while the men sit around discussing how grateful we should be that someone cares enough to keep us pure. I still remember my first exam when I was 12. My mother held my hand and told me this was what good families did to protect their daughters from ruining their futures and reputation. The family doctor would then stand at the head of our massive dining table and read the results out loud while everyone clapped for the girls who passed. Rebecca has maintained her purity and continues to honor our family, became the monthly announcement that made me want to crawl under the table and disappear. My younger cousins would watch with wide eyes knowing their turn was coming, and the older women would nod approvingly while sharing stories about how the tradition saved them from bad decisions. After 16 years of being violated, I had convinced myself this was normal. We planned our entire lives around that first Sunday, because missing the exam meant getting examined twice the next month, while the family questioned what you were hiding. When I met Cole 3 years ago, he looked at me like I was a whole person, instead of just a monthly test result. And for the first time, I started feeling like maybe I was worth more than my family's approval. Cole was a surgeon from a normal family, where women were trusted to make their own choices. His parents didn't inspect their adult daughters like livestock at an auction. I hid the exams from him by saying I had mandatory family dinners that were important to my aging grandmother. He never questioned why I came home from them looking hollow and defeated. He noticed my anxiety getting worse every month and asked if my family was okay, but I just smiled and changed the subject. I couldn't explain that sounded insane when you said it out loud. 6 months ago, Cole proposed and I said yes, thinking marriage would finally free me. According to our family rules, married women became their husband's property and didn't need monthly exams anymore. The wedding planning made it easier to avoid bringing Cole to family dinners, but I knew eventually he would have to meet everyone and sit through one of those terrible Sunday dinners. Last month, my 14-year-old cousin started sobbing during her exam and begged the doctor to stop. He called her parents, who threatened to kick her out if she didn't comply with family tradition. She called me that night having a panic attack and asked me how I could let this happen when I was the oldest cousin. She said I should have protected them all. You need to tell Cole. Maybe he could help us get out of this nightmare, she begged. But I was too scared of losing him to admit what I had been hiding for our entire relationship. The guilt of watching my younger cousins go through the same trauma I did while I stayed silent was eating me alive, but the shame felt even bigger. Yesterday, Cole found my appointment reminder card, and his face went from confused to concerned when he saw my hands start shaking. I tried to lie, but he knew something was seriously wrong and wouldn't let me leave until I explained everything. The truth came out like vomit, and with each word, his face went from concerned to horrified to completely blank, which was somehow worse than anger. Your family has been molesting you since you were 12 years old, and you kept it a secret from me for 3 entire years. His voice started quiet, but suddenly he was screaming. Do you understand that I just found out I was about to marry someone who lets their family sexually assault them every month? You're so broken you don't even understand how sick this is. I can't fix someone who's been programmed since childhood to think getting fingered by a doctor for family approval is acceptable, he said while staring at my engagement ring like it was contaminated. I pulled the ring off my shaking finger and held it out to him, but he backed away like I was poisonous and told me to keep it as a reminder of what secrets cost. I called my mother this morning and told her I would never attend another exam. She screamed that I was choosing to become a whore just like the ones who destroyed our family's name years ago. You're spitting on 4 generations of women who sacrificed to keep this family pure. I hope you end up pregnant and abandoned so you understand what we protected you from, she said, before telling me I was no longer her daughter. She also said she would make sure every single family member knew I chose spreading my legs over my family. My phone keeps buzzing with messages from relatives calling me a disgrace and a traitor, while my cousins text me saying I've ruined their lives because the exams will be even stricter now. Sexually assault.